You are watching Father Fish. Now please enjoy the video.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones in today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back those. There's a time that I remember when I did not know the pain. When I believed in forever, everything was back the same. Now my heart feel like December. Can somebody say your name? I can't reach out to call you. I know I'll do one day. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes. Everybody hurts sometimes. Everybody hurts someday. Hey, hey. Everything gon' be alright. Always a blessing to say. Hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Here's to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones in today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories. Memories bring back. Is it done? Is it good? Memories bring back, memories bring back. Is it done? Is it good? Memories bring back, memories bring back. Is it done? Is it good? Memories bring back, memories bring back. There's a time that I remember when I never felt so low. And I felt all the hatred just about for a start. And my heart feel like an ember, and it's not enough to die. I carry these torches for you, but you know I'll never try. Yeah, everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Hey, hey. Everything gon' be alright. Always a blessing to say. Hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Here's to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones in today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the dreams bring back all the memories. Memories bring back, memories bring back.
Joshua. There's Tom. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Nice to see you. Great to be here. Let's see. Let's get down here in the live chat. See what's going on. Waiting for Shelby. I haven't heard from her. Let's see if she sent me a message. Hey, Sarko. How are you? Doo-doo. Don't know. Well, she'll be along, I expect. Oh, that was something else. Okay. Well, I expect you'll be along. Let me take these off for the moment so I can hear myself. Joshua Bone. Hello, hello. Sarko, Scott. Aquarium Channel. Audio and video check. All good. Bravo. Thank you, sir. You have earned your blue wrench. Good job. Oh, I'm okay. Um, Started the 575J. Scott. Need to talk offline for a plant order. You bet. Um, we can do it over on Discord if you want. Doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. Send me an email. Call me on the phone. Do it on Discord. I don't care. Whatever. Wherever. Or just go to fatherfishaquarium.net. All the plants are listed there. You can pick what you want and just put the order in that way. Kevin. Relaxing, huh? Yeah, well, I've been able to do that for a few days. Last night, Frankie B. Scale Modeling and Interest. Nice to see you, Frankie. Well, let's see. There he is, sure enough. Here, Fishy be there when I can. I dare say. Well, we'll be happy to have you show up. So last night, some of you were there. We had the Venice Aquarium Society meeting. Dr. Anthony spoke, and it was really good to hear more about his project. I didn't realize how many years he's been doing it. It's really an old project, and he's doing some pretty substantial and significant scientific research. We then had a massive auction, and we had a lot of trouble at the beginning. We finally got that worked out, but in the process, I think some people's feelings got hurt. It was not my intention to do that, and I do apologize. It was stressful. I'll put it that way. By the end of it, I was about falling on the floor. It was an hour and a half auction, and I was on my feet the whole time. You're going to let me pick them, Scott says. That's fine. Send me $100. I'll give you a nice big order of plants. PayPal, fatherfish@fatherfish.net. The PayPal account name is fatherfish@fatherfish.net. Happy to do that. Well, Daniken, hello, hello. Nice to see you. Must be Danny. Danny says hello. Kenny says, what up, fish folk or something. What up, fish people? There it is. Right. So they're both there. Nice to see you guys. Great to have you with us. I don't know if you caught any of our massive show last night. We did a 3-hour special on it was the monthly meeting of the Venice Aquarium Society, and we did have a ball. Dr. Anthony did the program. He was sitting in an airport in California getting ready to take off for Peru. We had a massive auction, 150 pieces. Some people, some of you among them, actually were able to bid on items online. There were a few blips in that, a few sticking points like the time lapse. So we didn't get that worked out, but 4 people were able to buy things online at the auction last night, and 2 of them are shipped out. Another one will be next week because they added to the items they bought in the auction. So I've got to get some stuff in for them. So we had a great time. It was a lot of fun. I was so wiped out. When I got home, I think I fell on the floor. I'm not sure. I slept before the door got closed and woke up at 6 o'clock, went out and brought the fish in. Anyway, Cooley for Schoolie. Cooley is here. Where is ABC Biotech? Daniken saying hello to Cooley. I don't, oh, there Cooley for Schoolie is. Roman Chirac, hello, hello. Here, Fishy, be there when I can. Frankie Scale, we did everybody else. Okay. Anakin Scaper, ta-da, US Scaper. Here from Aquamalic. I love Aquamalic. Aquamalic is probably one of the most important breeders that we have on YouTube, on the fish tube. He reminds me of some people I know whose parents owned fish farms and they grew up and have continued the farm. Just knowledgeable at a depth that goes back well into their childhood. And that's very much the case with Aquamalic. His father was a breeder, so he has a kind of wisdom and the kind of experience that I don't have because I started out on my own. My grandmother had one tank. She didn't really teach me about breeding, but she did teach me the love of fish. Bred bikers and southern purple spotted gudgeons. Wow. Well, that's impressive. I haven't personally bred bikers, but I've seen them being bred, and these are big fish, 18-inch fish. They get big when they spawn, and they're an egg scatterer, so the eggs go everywhere. That's exciting. Kenny's here. Hey, Kenny, nice to see you. Yes, he was very, very informative and very helpful. It was really, as I said, it was interesting listening to Dr. Anthony last night. He has a remarkable project. Dumbod, hello, hello. ABC. Oh, good, okay. ABC sent me a DM on Discord. Good, I sent him one. So let me go see what it is real quick. See if I need to communicate any more about that. Kenny. Done. Well, oh, okay, that's Kenny. Right. Wonderful. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Kenny. Perfect. You escaper. Hundreds of eggs from both fish. Oh, I know. It's amazing. I had some friend who had about a 125 with 3 or 4. I think they were different species, though, of bikers. And they were all about that size, all about 18 inches. And I got there one morning, and the bottom was covered in eggs. I don't think they bred. He was not trying to do anything with them. Dumbud said I made him laugh during the auction. I think I was in tears or near about. I was just fighting it out, trying to get through. I was hurting. My golly, I was hurting. My legs hurt. My back hurt. I couldn't even take a step by the time it was over. Next time, I'm going to have a stool so I can perch on the stool. That'll take some pressure off. And we'll be able to show. We figured out a way to hold the bag up to the camera. We'll do a better job with that next month. And we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep giving people a chance to bid on the items. As I said, we had 250. 150 bags of fish. Took us an hour and a half to get through them. A lot of really, really very nice stuff. So we'll get it worked out so it'll be straightforward for you guys. I think we probably will have to pre-register. That'll make it a little easier, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Chris Trapp, a fish store employee, told my friend dangerous ammonia pockets form in deep sand substrates. What is your response? My response is the fish store employee doesn't have a clue. How in the world is air going to be trapped in sand? It's not. And where is the ammonia going to come from? Ammonia breaks down in sand. It doesn't create it. It's ammonia. Ammonia goes into the sand. It gets broken down into nitrites and nitrates. I think the fish store employee doesn't understand even the first thing about the nitrate cycle. It's tell your friend to tell your fish store employee to sign on to Father Fish and learn before he opens his mouth one more time and says something so stupid that he will live to regret it. Platinum female with a waist with a Senegal. Oh, nice! Wow, very cool, U.S. Caper. Very cool. Doobie doo. If I wasn't strictly a native cape, I'd love some of the bettas. The guppies were nice too. Those guppies were extraordinary. We had about 10 pair of pure strain guppies, about 10 different, maybe 6 different strains. Magnificent fish, just gorgeous. The fella who brought them in, it's Majestic Tropicals, just reopened his farm. He's been saving these through COVID. Just got the farm started. He's got from Fry working. So we're going to be having a really good source of very high quality pure strain guppies at a reasonable price. So excited about that. Doobie doo. What else? Oh, ABC said my rainbow shiners spawned today. Hundreds of eggs. Wow, that's cool. You're going to try to keep any going. That'll be fun. Doobie doo. What else? Chris. We did Chris. Manstelson first. Hey, Jess. Nice to see you. Good to have you here. Melted butter. My firemouth fry are still rocking in my Father Fish style tank. Wonderful. Firemouth fry. Firemouth there, that's a nice fish. That's a really nice fish. An easy one to spawn. Something you'll really enjoy as they get bigger. And you got a whole school of them swimming around. Oh, let's see. Joshua, getting ready to do my first started. Be purchasing some plants from you. Look forward to it, Joshua. Use the fatherfishaquarium.net site. That's a store. It's a website with a store. Joshua, that's it. No, it's Too Scully. Common Old Wives' Tale. Yeah, there are a lot of those. Too Cooley says my sand farts harmlessly all the time. Yeah, it's not ammonia. It's nitrogen gas, which is the most common gas on planet Earth. Doobie doo. Who was I talking to last night? Got some angels from Kenny's breeder friend. Oh, and also turns out we have a member of our club, the Venice Club, who has Altums, and they're close to spawning, so he's very hopeful. He brought an item to the auction last night. It was black water that he had made up, and it was pure farm. It was amazing. He had mixed a number of different things in it and had several bottles of this stuff. He's a physician. It was bought by another physician. We've got 3 or 4 MDs, medical doctors, in our club, all of whom are 2 of them are plant breeders and 2 are fish breeders, and they're all on a pretty high level. So that's exciting, having real high quality uh, people coming in. So we're looking forward to having some Ultims. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Dirted tanks, gas off, no problems at all. That's right, Kevin. It's perfectly normal and perfectly healthy and perfectly reasonable. ABC, I have a fry set up to grow them out. Starting in Fusoria culture, have tiny mosquito larvae in a resurrection jar. I started yesterday from rainwater and leaves that has been sitting all winter. Very nice. Dumbud, where I live in QC, Canada, all the fish stores look at you like you're crazy when you say you have a deep dirted substrate. Yeah, I know. Isn't it shocking? I was talking to uh, someone over on Discord today about this. And it's really interesting because the issue of Pepling Creek on $1.99. Thank you so much, Pepling Creek. They just put a big order in. They were on last night with the auction, and then put an order in for some more plants today. So we'll be getting them out. Anyway, it was really amazing. The conversation was, why is it that there are so many people who look at the idea of a natural aquarium and think, ew, how disgusting? And it strikes me that a big part of the struggle that we have, not just in this hobby, but in society at large, is that we become enamored with the idea that we can make anything, that we can that we can substitute our creation for what occurs in nature. So we've developed a disrespect for natural process, for the natural world. I think we did this because of the impact of atheism. And by that I mean the belief that we are the superior creatures in creation, and therefore we know best or can learn best what to do about everything. It disrespects natural law. It disrespects the fundamental principles by which reality exists. So, fascinating conversation. And it's really driving us into a ditch. The perfect example is AI. The perfect example is AI. AI is already at a level where it is superior to human thinking capacity. And as that expands, it is already assumed to have developed some sort of consciousness, some sort of self-awareness or awareness of that it exists somehow. This is dangerous territory, folks. We're putting our lives and our future and our very existence in the hands of our own creation. I don't think we are moral enough, intelligent enough, godly enough to be able to trust ourselves in the hands of that which we create. And yet here we go, roaring down that railroad track a million miles an hour. And it goes back really to a fish tank. It really does. I mean, if you're depending on your ability to be there every second of every day to make sure every dot and tittle of everything is taken care of perfectly, you're in a losing position. The principle is if you don't like dirt, you're going to have to appreciate and enjoy death because dirt is the foundation of life. Think about that. Without dirt, there is no life. Dirt, it's the foundation of life, whether it's in our fish tank or in the wild world. Got some temple plant. Oh, got some temple plant months ago. Neat plant and growing. Oh, they are amazing. Temple plant's incredible. I've got a bunch of them here. Let's see. Kenny had a comment. Two of our F1 Ultims have paired off. Be moving them to their own tank this week. So excited. Our black devils have bred. Oh my word. Eggs are in the display tanks. Not good. Oh well. Well, that's exciting. That's really exciting. You're going to have some fabulous fish there. I mean, you do already, but you'll have some populations of fish that many folks in the in the fish world or fish YouTube world are going to appreciate. Let's see what else is here. Pebbling Creek love being able to participate in the auction. We're going to make it easier. We'll make it work. I think we're pleased with what happened. Pleased we were able to do it. Everybody's plugged in and paid up. We'll be able to get everything. I shipped out one today. I got two more to go out tomorrow, and then one next week when I complete filling the order. Pennsylvania Fish Preacher, nice to see you. Just gave you a wrench. Big City Meadows, what good timing. Just actually gave a talk on natural planted aquariums. Quite interesting. The responses and questions of the club members. I'll bet you. I'll just bet you. Yeah, it's extraordinary. It is extraordinary. How many people will say, oh, ew, dirt, ew, sand, ew. I mean, they just do not have the tiniest clue what they're turning down. And that goes all the way to the top. Diana Wallstead thinks sand is inappropriate. She uses gravel and therefore cannot keep any one of her tanks going beyond 1 year. And she reduces the nutritional value of the dirt because it leaches into the water column. It's amazing, folks. It's really amazing. Dumbud. Here the big scare is meds. Very hard to get. And some jackass once said if you get wild water, all your fish are going to get sick and die. People stuck to it without looking into it. I know. As though the fish they have in their tanks came out of a laboratory. If they only knew. Roman, the tub of cattails, which I overwintered in my garage, are sending up green shoots. The tub froze during the coldest days, which is just what those plants require for dormancy. Springtime. There you go. Yeah, Roman day one took the challenge to do a resurrection jar only. He did a little tray, and it's now become a tub and a number of other tanks. And it is brilliant. It is magnificent. He's got a garden, a natural wild garden, a wild pond, if you will, growing in a tub. Just amazing stuff. Oh, let's see. I jumped too far down now. Melted butter. Would you say the pothos finds are worthwhile? Mine are nice and wet. They are. They are. The only issue with them is the root system that they develop will eventually completely fill up the tank, which is wonderful for the fish living in it because it creates a very pure water in that it's leaching out. It's feeding on all the nutrients in the water column, and it becomes a wonderful place for fish and their babies. So yeah, by all means, pothos is great, and it'll become spectacular. I mean, it will completely fill whatever area you have it in. It'll just grow and grow, and it'll reach the point where it begins to. You can almost watch it grow. It goes whoom, 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 almost daily. It's amazing. Wonder why so many are against dirt and top layer is sand. You create a small natural ecosystem. Why so much pushback? You know, I talked to some of the people from the planted forum about that. I had an argument with them a couple of years back, and they said the problem with sand is that it blocks the soil from getting through. It's so slow that it's ineffectual. And what they were missing is that's what happens in nature. Dirt doesn't go, detritus doesn't go from the surface smack dab into the dirt layer in a matter of a day or two. It takes months and sometimes even years. It's slow, it's a process. And as it's going through there, all of the microfauna, the microflora, the bacteria, the fungus are all eating it as it goes through. I mean, it's a process. It's a natural process. They seem to have no sense of that and really don't want to have a sense of it. They just prefer being stupid, which is unfortunate. And it is some of the most sophisticated um, plants people and fish people who are available online. They're just so prejudiced. They're they're so convinced that their mechanical systems are superior to natural process. That's the key. That really is the key. They believe that they can with an O2 system that they can create more oxygen in that water column than the plants require. And the opposite is true. Not only do they create an environment that is susceptible to algae growth and to fluctuations in the pH, the substrate, a dirt substrate, produces vastly more CO2, not O2, CO2, vastly more CO2 than that CO2 system that they have mechanically developed can possibly create without the downside. There's no downside to it. That's the nature of deep substrate. It creates CO2. That's what the plants are feeding on in part, is that CO2. It just it is a lack of respect for Mother Nature, truly. It's exactly what it is. It's a lack of respect for nature and natural process, as if to say, oh, you can't have nature in a little box. It's not open to the world. No, it's not. But it lives in that little box. It functions in there. The same laws and principles and processes apply in that little glass box as they do out in the pond or the creek. I don't know what it'll take. A cataclysm, I think. And it looks to me like we're headed for one. So we'll see. I announced last night that if the Lacey Act passes, I'm going to start a national and perhaps international church called the Church of Noah. There's 3G. Look at this. The Church of Noah. And we're going to be teaching people and training people and encouraging people to build their very own ark. And we're going to even one step further. We're going to go into court when they come up against us under the guise of religious freedom. Here, Fishy was here and dropped off. Come on back up, Shelby. We had her and lost her. 3G, what are we doing here? Let me put my ears on.
Hey, you doing all right this evening?
I'm doing great. How are you? I'm actually feeling a little better. I was pretty well beat up by the end of the day yesterday.
Yeah, I seen you plop down late last night. I was like, oh, he's tuckered out.
But I had to work today all day to get stuff out, and I've got some strength back. So I'm going to push again tomorrow.
I apologize for not getting in touch with you early this morning.
Oh, it's okay. Not a problem. Glad we got that worked out. So what you got there?
Well, this is another little deep substrate tank that I have, and
What do you have? That gravel? You have river gravel on top. It looks like.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, that's so pretty.
Tank on the marketplace, and it had that gravel in it, and I took it out and put dirt underneath there, and put a little bit of sand, and then I put that gravel back over the top of it.
I think the gravel is really pretty. That river gravel is so nice. You can put it on as a thin layer on top of the sand. You've got it deeper there. You've got what, a couple inches on top of sand?
Goodness, altogether it's about 4 inches. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that works. That works.
Yeah,
I got some sand in there.
Oh yeah, I got about an inch of dirt and about 2 inches of sand, and then about an inch of that gravel over the top of it.
Nice. Yeah, it looks really good.
I got
the other bit. No, if you put humus on that, it will enrich very quickly. The humus is going to break down and sift into that gravel, and it'll create a huge food web.
Awesome.
That's leaves. If you can find rotted leaves, even if they're not just regular leaves, but rotted leaves are good because they bring in a lot of microfauna and a lot of bacteria and fungus. So we're able to kickstart the system with it. Nice.
Yeah, a lot of my tanks do have leaves in them, and this one has not been set up too long.
Yeah, and, that looks good. Aquaman is saying, I like humus on my chips too. Yeah, you bet. Humus on his chips. Try putting it in your tank. That's
okay. And I wanted
it's the same stuff. Humus is humus. I mean, the humus that we eat is basically all it is rotting vegetation. Rotting vegetation is pure nutrition.
Yummy.
It's pure food for the fish. And it doesn't break down the way meat does. Any kind of protein product breaks down by bacteria becoming so prolific that it'll overwhelm a relatively new system. but you can load it up with leaves and it won't do that. Yeah, it breaks down in a different way. It breaks down without without destroying the biological system in there. Pretty cool. I don't know what happened when Shelby was up and we got lost. I guess she was
I
having
missed her.
trouble
Maybe
staying on. She was just
I was,
up for a second and then disappeared. Probably having
I
trouble
tried
getting
2 times
online.
before this to get up and was unsuccessful. So this is my
Oh,
third
is that
time with
right?
the charm.
Huh.
Yes, sir. And I really want to just come up and make sure that you did receive the PayPal.
I looked. It's there. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Just wanted to verify that, and I'm gonna drop on down. And thank you for having me up.
Okay, I appreciate it, 3G. Nice to see you. Take
Yes,
care.
sir. Thank you much.
Right.
I had a
Bye
blast
bye.
last night. Had a
Oh,
blast.
that
That
was
was
fun,
fun.
wasn't it? Yeah. We'll do more of it.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna make it work.
I'm
Bye
in. I
bye.
can't wait.
All right. Bye for now. Let's see. Oh yes, that's who it was. I was talking with Roxy about the ultims they got through Kenny. We were talking today about that. Nice. All right, let me jump down here a little. We did the dirty tank thing, drove that into the ground. Miss Amber, where is she? I don't see her. Amber's here. Hi, Amber. Peplin just subbed, says ABC. Bravo. Now, I think he's been subbed. Or did he? I don't know. What's this? We have a $5 super chat from Aqua Funk, the most passionate fish keeper I ever met. I'll join your church, but can I be in charge of the donation plate? No, no. Funny guy. Let me see. Let me find him. Where is this? There it is right there. All right. Charge of the donation plate. So, yeah, that's the game plan. The game plan is to start the Church of Noah, and we're going to create uh, um, what are they called? Outliers. That's not the word I want. Going to create a conference of arcs. A congress. What would you call a congress? A congress of arcs. A battalion. No, a flotilla. A flotilla of arcs that will allow us to float all the fish in the world. And we'll have to abide by the laws. We're not going to be able to transport these across state lines. We will be able to maintain species that are not listed because there's no, the only thing we're not allowed to do is transport them. We are under the law, the terms of it. We're able to keep them. We're simply not allowed to transport them. So we'll find a way to deal with that, I'm sure. Transport them across state lines or across federal lines, national lines. So anyway, that's the game plan. Actually, the game plan is to keep the damn thing from passing to begin with, because it is so profoundly destructive that it if it passes, it will demonstrate one more time the utter lawlessness of our government in refusing to live under the charter of the authority of God. Our Constitution establishes us under the authority of God. And this clearly is an abrogation of that authority. God has admonished us to care for the animals of the earth. That doesn't mean think nice thoughts. That means do good things with your hands. Get your hands and your heart involved, not just thinking about it. Thinking does nothing without hands and heart. I'm getting very preachy here, but I don't care. Can I touch on temperature for various fish species? You know, that's really interesting. Let's use Discus as case in point, because Discus, in spite of the fact that they have been bred in captivity now for many, many, many generations, for perhaps 50 years, they still are temperature sensitive. Anything much below 78 and they struggle. They'll lose their spirit. They'll turn dark, turn black, stop eating, eventually die. Um, I, there some of the other fish that are susceptible to temperature are rams. German blue rams uniquely susceptible to temperature change. Now, other fish. Now, if you look at where they're from, it kind of explains that, because they're true tropicals, where the temperature never drops. They're right on the equator. Temperature never drops below 80 year round. Fish, however, like African cichlids, come from deep, deep lakes where the water gets down well into the 60s, into the low 60s, and can get even colder. I've seen them grown outdoors here in Florida in temperatures that get down into the 50s. There she is. You
Hi.
made it. Hi.
I'm having technical difficulties, so I had to bring my phone closer and go get some headbuds. And I got a new phone this week, and
Well, nice to see you.
nice to see you guys.
Thank you. You were on last night for a bit, weren't you?
I was for only in the beginning, and it was dinner time, so I didn't get to see any of the auction. But I was on during your test earlier with your lady friend.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, "Why are these people on here watching us do nothing?"
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah, that was
fun.
Barbara.
Barbara.
Barbara is our membership director.
Yeah, nice place you guys have. Ours are in really bad like fire halls in bad sections of town.
Wow.
Which is why I've never gone to a fish meeting, because I'm just not going to go somewhere seedy at night alone. It's not worth it.
Right.
But you guys, it was like a nice little community center.
It is, and it's in a really nice community too. And the people are very open and friendly. They've been just real supportive. We don't even pay for the use of it. One of our members lives in that community, and he has the use of it by being a member of the community.
I could tell. It looks like one of those rooms. We have those kind of rooms here, but that's not where the local fish club meets.
Well, they should,
Ours basically meets in the sewer. Yeah.
These old timers. Old timers, that's what.
Yeah, Aquafunk said fish clubs are seedy. That's why I'm scared to go. Like, I want to be a part, and I want to be a part, but I have kids. I can't be risking my life to go to the fish club.
Amazing, isn't it? ADHD. Hello. Who else here? Frankie B. Scale. Did my first dirted on my 180G. Plants and pothos and majority severums. Fish look great, healthy and colorful. Best thing I've ever done. No chemicals, much healthier environment. You bet, Frankie. Good job. Blackbird's amazing animals and fishing. How have you been, Father? Have you been, Father Fish? Wonderful, Blackbird. Nice to see you. Good to have you with us. Who else is here?
Are you at a timestamp?
Well, I'm just scrolling around. I'm at about 9:05.
Okay. I just saw a question at 9:10, so I was wondering.
Oh, Tukoli says I'm a part-time preacher. I'll help with Noah. I'm going to do it. Honest to God, I'm going to do it. I really will. Verily, KC, born again in the ark. Thank you, Jesus. You got it. Can I get a fish fam? Amen, says Melvin. Phoneticals have a fluorite-based layer capped with river gravel, and then let it be in it works well. Yeah, so long as you got enough gravel in there, you need a minimum 4 inches. 5 to 6 is better. But it's a fluorite base that's not releasing much in the way of humus or biologicals, so it's mainly capturing. So that works. That works. What else? Daniken, guppy, shrimp, feta, and almost all nanos. Melted butter could attention on temperature. We did that. Oh, here we go. Too coolly. Do you know of a natural way to control hydra? Feeding BBS, have Endler babies, pygmies, pygmy corals love it. However, it's too much for my Borneo. The best way to control hydra is to get something that eats hydra. Bettas will eat hydra. There are
Yeah.
other things too. I'm trying to remember what. Shrimp, I think, eat hydra.
I mean,
What else eats?
the adult endlers?
I don't know. You'd think so, but maybe they
I would
don't.
think so, yeah, but I can't say I've seen it
Don't
happen.
know. Yeah. Molly's, I think.
For
I know-
yeah, I knew that was the thing that came to the top of my head was
I know
Molly's.
bettas eat hydra, and that's an easy one. You can mix a betta in with near anything.
Well, what about if they're having endler babies they want? I guess it's yeah, you can't have everything.
It is a problem. I've had the problem once,
Hmm.
and caused by exactly the same thing, because they're hot for baby brine shrimp, and that will cause a hydra explosion. Just try to find something that'll eat it. You can put chemicals in there, but you're going to risk your babies doing it. Or what you can do is pull the babies out and sterilize the tank, break it down and bleach it and start over again with new water. With babies, sometimes it's not a bad idea to do that because you've got a tank that really is not by any stretch a stable environment. And if it develops a bacterial explosion or something like hydra, the best way to deal with it, like if it's a bare tank, which it probably is to simply pull the babies out and drain it, bleach it, burn it, kill it, put it all back together and start over again.
A nice hearty Molly. I'm looking at my I have a platy over here, but I can see that one just roving around eating all day.
Oh, you bet. Are you saying having a CO2 system is disrespectful to nature? Aquaman. Well, I did say that, didn't I?
It's not natural.
It's not natural. And if you do a deep substrate, it's not better. It's actually worse because it creates all kinds of imbalances that are not created in nature. It's a perfect example of an attempt to create a solution to a problem that does not exist. There is no such thing as a CO2 problem so long as you have a natural aquarium. If you don't, yeah, you got a problem. You don't have adequate CO2. There are a lot of ways to deal with that, but the simplest and easiest way to deal with it is to build a system that replicates a natural environment. What's wrong with that? Why is that a problem? What is that hurting? And don't give me coral, because I learned this system from coral reef keepers. They've been doing it for 25, 30 years successfully. Not all of them, mind you, but more than are doing it in freshwater. The more saltwater people with deep substrates, sturdy deep substrates, than there are freshwater keepers. Think about that for a minute. Those of you who think saltwater is more difficult than fresh, it's actually easier if you do that. I give you my 2 saltwater takes based on deep substrate. Imagine that. Deep substrate. with natural water. Move a little closer. This is these are wild caught. These are mollies and killies out of my creek. And these are clowns and a combination of things. There are a lot of gobies in here. But that's 4 inches of substrate. This one is 6 inches, including an old freshwater substrate. So, like that. It may not be the prettiest thing in the world, but that's me. That's not the system.
Here's my natural salt water.
Oh yeah, look at that.
A tiny little aquarium salt. This is 16 ounces to show how deep the substrate is. It's,
Right. That's like 4 to
no
5
heat,
inches.
no air, no filter.
Ha! Good
And
for you. All right.
This little fish, she's making a home. The plant kelp and macroalgae back there, the red's taken over. And let's see how close we can get. It's hard to do this backwards, as any of you that came up to stream will know, but if you can possibly see, there's constantly little bubbles coming up non-stop. I'll give it a knock and maybe you can see some go.
There they are. Sure
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
So don't be scared. There's nothing in here. There's no. Here's some coral. You can see. Yeah. Everybody's having a good time in here. No expensive anything. Just as natural as when we throw the dirt in our 10 gallons and put fresh water in.
Bravo. Bravo.
And that's Father Fish for you. Bravo to you, sir. I wouldn't be doing that without you.
Let's
Crazy
jump in
talk,
here.
right?
Crazy talk. That's right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me get down. We did Aquafunk, ADHD.
Aphids.
Where are you?
923 yogurt covered mirror.
Let's
They're my
see.
20-gallon, but not my ridiculous amount of terrestrial plants. What's in your 20-gallon? Not water. Aphids would drown.
Yes, Scott, the mollies are from my creek, yes.
Nice.
What kind of plants? It's they're Caulerpa. It's a macroalgae. Yep. Two scully macroalgae. That's right.
Yeah, there was a red kind at my local fish store.
Ornstein says, "Hey, Mom."
That's my daughter.
Oh, great.
She said she might come check out what's going on.
Who made her? No, wait a minute.
It's her first time on.
Okay, good. I just gave her a wrench.
Ornstein, you're a moderator now.
Ornstein. Oh, nice. Where'd her name come from?
She's in the anime. So it's one of those.
Oh, I see. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Got it. Nice. Fanatical says I'm cheap. Cheaper the better. It's the
Yeah.
Brit in me.
That's how you get more tanks.
That's right. What's my pH on my chocolate ceramic tank? I'm not sure. I think it's about 6.5. I dropped it down with acid. What did I use? I'm trying to remember. What did I use? Oh, vinegar. I used white vinegar. I dropped the pH with white vinegar. Now I started it with my municipal water, which has a very low KH to begin with, and a low GH. So it's down. I think it's about 6.5. It's doing astoundingly well. It's probably the best tank I've got. I went out and collected mud yesterday and dumped some of it in here. And it was cloudy. That was a few hours ago. It's totally cleared up and they've all got fat bellies. So they got some food. There's a little, can you see that? It's a little scarlet batis. I've got a couple of pairs of scarlet batis in here. I haven't seen any fry yet, but they've been struggling. I did a little video about 2 weeks ago. This male was spawning up here, and all four of the chocolate gouramis were hovering just below them, snagging all the eggs as they were being laid. So the poor bettas didn't manage to get one single egg because these guys got them all. And I kind of let it happen because I'm really anxious to see if I can get them. Yeah, I keep thinking maybe I have a female, and then I'm thinking maybe I don't. Typically, you only get males. The female.
Well, at least they're not fighting.
No, they don't fight. The female's much more colorful though, and she has bars. And I've seen one that looks like it has bars. I don't see the other two. They're hiding somewhere. There's one right there. That one looks like it has bars. I don't know. I can't really tell. It's probably 4 males. That would be typical. A friend of mine, Chris, bought 20, and he got 1 female out of the 20.
Wow.
And,
it's like Alaska.
All right. We'll scroll down a little more here. Let's see. Kevin says, I use Fritz trace elements on my tanks. Made my pH go up, so now trying to get it back down to where it was, 6.5. Yeah, the problem with the trace is it had carbonates in it. That's what's going to drive it up because it holds the pH. Carbon. I was talking with somebody else yesterday who had the opposite problem. They had no carbonates in their water and couldn't keep the pH up at all. Michigan Tropicals. Where is?
What part of Florida?
Who are you talking to?
Michigan Tropicals with that super chat.
There he is. He's in. He's in.
I think
Michigan,
he's in Michigan.
I think. Yeah, right.
I don't
Post
know.
the pics of the new tank.
There's a hint there.
On this guy, right? Love to wild collect the croaking gourami from Florida. I've never seen it down here. I have no idea where it is. I have heard that it's been caught. I don't go much above Tampa. I don't even get as far north as Tampa.
It'll be a particular Walmart drainage ditch.
Yeah, likely. I'd like to catch some too. You're going to be down when? In May.
May.
We'll get together when you come down. We'll do some cool stuff. Orlando and Crystal River and Lakeland all across there. That whole at that level, that's about 50 miles north of me. There are fish there that don't exist down here, like the banded sunfish, which I would love to be able to catch. Kevin is using 100% RO. That works. That helps. You can always dose a little bit, like with baking soda, but very, very tiny amounts. It doesn't take much at all. Fanatical always forget about Discord. Don't forget about Discord. That's the most exciting thing we're doing, I think. We got 50, 60 people in there all the time.
I'm going to drop the link for Discord.
Do please. It's really wonderful. What a breed of pestos. I have hard Florida water. Easy. You don't need to soften it. They'll breed in hard Florida water. Pestos will breed in hard water. Easiest way to soften it with RO. RO water will soften it. I mean, that you just do it with water changes. You can
What
add,
about what about wet leaves and
you can do all
tea
that.
and
It
all those
doesn't,
things?
yeah, it fights with the the GH. It doesn't really get rid of the GH. It just creates conflict with it. So it'll work, but it doesn't work nearly as well as simply switching some of that water out for RO water. Distilled water, RO water, rainwater, all of which work well. Spring water, if you have access to spring water,
Hmm.
uh, that's that's about as pure as you can get typically.
I think I do have access to spring water,
You should.
like
Yeah,
real spring water.
yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. I've had some of that Pennsylvania spring water.
Why my family was born in Springdale, and there was a pipe just sticking out of the hill. We used to go up with empty
Right?
gallons of my grandfather, and
There you go. That's
everybody
right.
lived to be old, happily ever after.
Really. The Juliana, ask on Discord, but I have a 4-year shabunkin that eats parameters fine, deep sand, will get in the corner, be face down for a long time, then swimming normally. Should I worry or normal? He's probably mentally imbalanced. Probably has a mental illness. Fish get mentally sick, you see.
Mm.
And it can happen from living in extreme isolation.
Mm.
It can happen from living in a little tiny jail cell. There are any number of things that can cause it, but it
Family
equates,
members?
yeah, family members. It equates to mental illness. Think of it that way, and you'll be able to find a way to help him. Hmm. Roman Chirac, be interesting if someone would make a spreadsheet with GPS locations of Walmart dishes with fish species, Walmart ditches.
I've heard
That
there's
would be fun.
angelfish and all kinds of things in Florida.
Well, there are. It's amazing. The Discord is lovely, says Yogurt. Yes, it is. Robert Sawinski. Couldn't get my pistols to breed until I started using RO water. Bravo. Do. Let's see. We need to find.
Give
There
him
it
a
is.
wrench too.
I got it right there,
Anybody
Robert.
that knows a pistos is surely fish for him.
Right, pistols, pistos. Right.
Yeah, pistols. I wouldn't have, even if it's RO water, it's just going to
Should
make
get
them
on it.
rust. It's
Start some
not good for
stench.
them. But a pistos, sure.
Oh, we got some wild jags and Oscars. Nice. You were down around Miami.
Oh, it's because you know where it's all at. You should
Really?
make this map of such ditches.
Well, you know there already is one. Where's the
Oh,
book?
well, do tell.
It's Florida. It's just Florida, and it doesn't really have much of invasive. It's mostly natives, but native ornamentals.
Mm.
And
No,
it's
we want the stuff that flew out of the fish farm during a hurricane. That's what's fun.
right. Let's see. Kevin, any plans on outdoor fish subs this year? Uh, I'm hoping if I can get this house purchased, so I'm actually living here, then I'll do it. I'm not going to do it otherwise.
No, not worth it.
Fanaticals, one word women. I don't know what that pertains to. Maybe it doesn't matter. Women. The stand can hold up to 50. It's got a stand, I guess. Toronto tubbing season. Kevin. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Tubbing is going to be great this summer.
I'm already getting ready. I saw like no reason not to get your water up. You know, like for here, I'm in Pittsburgh. You know, East Coast,
Right.
cold but hot. to get the water up by April, even if you're not putting fish in it yet, but it starts to become alive ahead of time and getting
Oh yeah,
a
absolutely.
culture
You
and
bet.
everything.
Yep. Yep.
Everybody here, they like to sit by the window and look out at my pond because I put a little fountain in it. But it's like an above tub that should be buried in the ground, and like I can't keep putting it there. You know, like the family likes to look at it, and I'm like, this. We need to dig a hole and start something here.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I'll just have to get a different tub for by the window.
Oh, what else? Clown knives. Yeah, I had a half a dozen 3-foot clown knifefish that were caught
3
locally
foot.
here in Venice. They were 3 foot, honest to God,
Wow,
monster fish.
that's dinner.
Yeah, really. Kevin put a post out on my local Facebook about floating plants. Someone must have seen
Oh,
it had water lettuce, which is
uh-oh.
it. Now, why would water lettuce be illegal in Wisconsin?
That doesn't make sense because it sure
It's
does
not
die
going to
out
winter over.
easily.
You know,
Yeah,
it's like piranha being illegal in Maine.
it's true.
What is the point of that? You
Even
ever
I put
covered
water
there?
lettuce out here in Pennsylvania, and if it got direct sun, it was too much for it. It would die from the direct sun, which is
Huh.
interesting because it will
Yeah,
die from
yeah.
lack of light inside.
Yogurt covered mirror. I have a 10-gallon dirted. What fish species shall I choose? Preferably not heated, but anything. Anyone can suggest. Would love to hear ideas. What do you like? You need something that's not going to grow bigger than about 2 inches for openers. But you can do a species tank, you can do a community tank, any number of ways to go. Species tanks can include things like African shell dwellers.
My
And make
favorite.
an
I was just gonna say shell dwellers.
or you
They're so
really yeah,
fun.
they are, and they're great in a small tank like a 10-gallon tank.
And if
They
you
do
get them
well.
breeding, they are not in pet stores. They're hard to come by,
You bet.
unless you're hooked in like Father Fish. The rest of us poor, fish keeping peasants, good luck finding them. You can sell those for a pretty penny.
Kevin said he got a letter from DNR. Well, that's sad. Just get rid of it, Kevin. You don't know what they're talking about. You don't have it in your tank, do you? The Juliana. Let's see here, fishy. Letting water age mature gives you a head start.
Yeah, with the
Yep.
tanks for
It's
tub
Roman.
season.
Yep.
And
Michigan
I already have
tropical.
wet leaves outside. I'm excited to transfer.
Ready to move to Florida and fish for the rest of my life. Not a bad life either. A lot of people do it. There is fabulous fishing in Florida. No question. Beautiful green perch and sunfish in Maine. Here's another one. You can't have an outdoor pond in Maine.
Where?
In
Really?
Maine.
What?
No outdoor ponds in Maine, against the law.
Well, you don't want that koi taking over.
Yeah, right.
Wow, Maine. You think of it as being more wildernessy and nature friendly, like Alaska, but apparently
Right.
not.
Well, it's a matter of the politicians that are running the state.
Yes.
That's really what it's all about. It's kind of an East Coast Washington State, Seattle, an East Coast Seattle.
Yeah.
Like
Enough said.
that.
The Chaz area.
The Chad area, right?
Chaz, not Chad.
Chad
Sure.
too,
No Chads there.
right?
So we 2 weeks ago, before Dr. Anthony was on, we were talking with everyone, and people were putting up wonderful fish food recipes made out of fresh stuff.
That was incredible, wasn't it?
Yes. So I made a couple hard-boiled eggs because I like it in my salad, but I don't like the yolk. So I took it out, I mashed it up, and I mixed it with my spirulina powder you say is because of yoga. The big old.
Okay. Right.
So it's been just out in the open air for a couple days now, and it's wonderful. Like you can make it as fine as you want.
Oh, that's great. Look at that.
So it seems like this should be fine out in the open now that's dried out. Like I don't think it needs to be refrigerated. I'm not going to keep it for months on end. But do
Yeah.
you think there's any reason for that would be wrong with this just being aired out and dried?
Just that it might draw bugs. That's all.
Well, so far so good.
No,
it
looks
doesn't
great,
seem
yeah.
to be like it's rotting or anything to me. And the fish love it. They really love this spirulina and hard-boiled egg yolk mashed up.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
like
and
it.
just think, I don't think I'm going to be getting any more, not just normal fish food, but maybe even frozen fish food if I can just take my hard-boiled eggs and add some stuff to it.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's if you can feed naturally, it's so much better. I mean, you think about it.
Well,
The
not
pre-
even cheaper and healthier.
All the prepared foods are made up of offal, which is waste. It's a waste product that's cooked to the point of destruction. It kills all bacteria, all germs, everything.
It's just an
Kills
ominous
everything.
fish meal, and that
Yeah.
could probably legally mean a lot of things.
And the problem with it is you put it in water and it causes bacterial explosions. It's the most unhealthy way to feed fish, using a prepared box food, whether it's flake or crumbles or whatever it is.
And when you look at a yolk, it was formed naturally, or inside of the egg white, inside of the shell, and then cooked. There's no way for anything bad to really get into it.
Right. Wes Came Duff says, will it feed larger fish? Yeah, what you want to do is make little balls out of it.
You don't have to
And-
make it this fine. I mean, when you can chop the
Right.
yolk into whatever and just coat it in the spirulina or what have you. There's a lot of other things that, as people are saying. I mean, you even as far as mixing this with gelatin and making little cubes like that.
Oh, let's see. Verily is saying hard water and clear water. Yeah,
And your cat would eat it, yeah.
there
Vitamins for
should be
everyone.
some. You know where you can find salt water though, in clear water, is the underground river, the underground aquifer.
So what are you suggesting? You start digging?
No, it comes to the surface at various places.
Oh, how interesting.
There should be springs. You should be able to find some springs.
That's
saltwater
awesome.
springs. Let's see. What else?
Fanatical, as far as spirulina, I would just look for it as a dietary supplement for humans. It's very cheap then because people don't really want. I mean, you
Yeah, a
want
lot
green
cheaper.
powder to drink, but you don't, and it's in a
Same
giant
stuff.
amount. This was probably like $13 on Amazon. I'm just guessing. I got it like a year or 2-3 years ago, but it's 2 pounds, and that is so much. This stuff is so fine. A little bit
that'll last
really goes a
forever.
long way.
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
really goes a long way.
Yeah.
This might be my fish room until I die. Like, will be enough.
Alec the Nice is collecting wild Daphne every day. I have a
Nice.
story about that. Henry Cole told me a story once. He said he found a pond that had Daphne in it. Now, any pond that has Daphne does not have fish, because fish
Really?
eat all the Daphne up. Absolutely.
Okay.
So if you want to find Daphne, you need to find a pond where there are no fish in it. So he was collecting out of this, and he was active in a club or a group of other fish keepers. He developed a system using a little model boat that he attached a seine net to, and he would sail this boat around the pond, and the net would capture Daphne, and he would have huge quantities of Daphne. He refused to tell anybody where the pond was. Well, one day, somebody followed him out to the pond,
Oh my goodness.
and they were so mean and so cruel that they released goldfish into the pond, which of course wiped
Oh,
out the Daphne.
malicious.
Isn't it ever?
My
So
goodness.
I remember him
He's like,
telling me
if
that
I won't
story.
have that Daphne, nobody can.
Yeah, like that.
Wow.
But what was interesting was the system he had for catching him. You've seen the little seine nets, the long tubular seine nets that they use to capture microscopic life in the ocean. They'll run this thing that's a net, a ring about that big around with a long net on it, a
Mm.
fine mesh net, and they'll run that behind a boat, and they'll capture all kinds of the top couple of inches of ocean water is where most of the nutritional life is. Most of the microfauna and microflora is living right there. So all the baby fish that are spawned in open water, like the yellow tang and the blue tang,
That's where they're feeding.
that's where they're feeding. They're all right there at the top. So these guys that go through with these big nets and catch all of these tiny, tiny fish, take them back and grow them out. So that's how a lot of these fish are being grown out and made available through the hobby. Of course, all that's going to come to an end, like everything else. We're going to have to go to war, I think, with the government if they pass this thing. It's going to be open warfare. I mean, it is entirely too disreputable a thing for them to do. I think our first victim is going to be Rubio, going to turn him into a pariah.
It might just all go underground. In the 80s, we
Well,
had the
it
war on
will.
drugs.
Yeah,
Now
I
we have
know.
the war on fish and birds and
It will.
reptiles.
Yet a lot of people will wind up in jail. They'll wind up losing their homes in jail for decades. It's 5 years per item. If you have a bag of 10 fish, you cross the
Crazy.
state lines with it, you can be fined $250,000 plus 50 years in jail.
To lock a
Five,
human being in a cage.
yeah,
But that's
5 years, right?
if you get caught.
If you get caught,
Just saying.
and people do get caught.
They do, yes.
There are people right now suffering under that law,
And many others.
and many others. You'd use
Um,
a hydrator, Scott said, for the egg
yeah,
yolk.
a
That would work.
dehydrator can really tackle a lot of things. So Scott's talking about the Daphne again. The only pond I found Daphne in was a temporary pond, small pond, like a seasonal frog pond.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
So if I can go, I have little pools of water around here. If I have 5 nets. How do I know if it's Daphne or what? Because I've definitely caught little critters and crustaceans.
Okay.
I haven't been taught, or I don't know how to even identify any of these things as sources of food or things that I could culture. I've looked about buying Daphnia cultures.
I don't know if we can see anything in here or not.
Probably not.
I collected this yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, probably not. No, it's not going to work.
It's so hard at that microscopic
Yeah.
level. And
Anything that's starting around in short, I can see a bunch of fairy shrimp in here.
oh, see, I wouldn't know to say that this is Daphne or fairy shrimp or anything. I'm just glad to see
Well,
things moving. And I
Yeah,
figure the
there's
fish will want to eat them.
there's an awful lot of stuff in here. And I just collected this out of a local pond. Just a matter of seconds. Got some snails as well.
And I was reading about something that said somebody was saying when they were young, their dad would take like a drop of water like that and put it under a slide under the microscope.
You bet. Right.
And that the kid would look under there for hours at all the
Yeah.
different things. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm interested to try that.
Well, I finally got my microscope cleaned up and set up. So we're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be doing that shortly.
Oh, that looks so much better. I found one at the thrift store, but it said middle school microscope.
Oh, that's nice. That's perfect.
So I don't know what that means. I mean, so it was like $6 or something. It's, metal and everything. It has 3 different heads,
Yeah,
but I don't know if I'll
does
be
it
able to
have a
see.
light? It does not have a light, does it? On the bottom? No.
Well, it has this crystal. No, I don't think it does, but I could sure put
Okay.
one under there.
Yeah, you'll be able to use any kind of lamp
Yeah.
to hit that crystal. That crystal gathers light, so
Okay.
that'll work fine.
Yeah, because I didn't know like how good is a middle school microscope versus obviously they can get exponentially better, but I figured
Well, it'll
will be
work
able
just
to like
fine.
see anything in
Yeah,
standing water
absolutely.
through this?
Um,
Just to see the critters or whatever.
yeah, you need to get some lenses, some slides and slips.
Yeah, I have a couple. Yeah, that came with it.
Absolutely.
All right, well that'll be
You
fun
just
then.
need to experiment with it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
start
great. That's
somewhere.
exactly what I've got. I just have a double lens. What happened here? Lost the lens. Fell out.
I think her name was Susan. She was on here. So we had a lady on maybe a month or 2 ago. She was doing the discus research.
Oh, I don't know.
And she was encouraging, playing with the microscope, learning it
Oh,
all.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, a woman was doing. She does discus research. She was on. She had a fundraiser. I don't remember. I think her name was Susan.
Kevin wants to start a resurrection jar. Okay, Roman, you want to explain what to do?
Now's the time of year.
That's perfect time right now. That's basically what I just showed you. Just get a jar, any container.
Yeah, really.
Go out to any body of water. Doesn't matter. Any body of water at all. Dig up a scoop of mud, throw it in, fill it with water. If you see little plants, you can throw them in. I would not put little fish in because the little fish are going to eat up all the little animals. So don't do little fish unless you particularly want to. And then bring it back and set it in the windowsill. Let it get daylight. You don't need to irrigate it. You don't need any kind of pump filter, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just set it in the windowsill. And you will notice in a matter of days, hundreds, and then thousands of little tiny animals scooting around. If you got a hand lens to look at it, that's good. If you have a microscope, that's better. What you can do then is get a fine mesh net, like a handkerchief, like a silk handkerchief, filter some water into that, and release that into a tank with small fish. It's a great way to be able to feed little fish or baby fish for that matter. Try with 10-gallon, nothing happens. What is the Digitech man talking about?
And there were resurrection tanks and stuff. I have a 10-gallon right now that is just stuff I pulled out of local pond last summer, and it's been fun to watch it go. And there's different little plants coming up. It's all full. It's cool. There's just one 10-gallon, and the only thing that goes in there is stuff that I've just pulled out locally. It's fun to watch it go.
You bet.
We're definitely thawing out here now.
If it moves, delete it, says Scott. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, where are we? We're at 10 o'clock. We may as well knock it off here. We've been having fun way too long.
Knock it off already.
I'll go to my local creek. Go for it, Kevin.
Get some wet leaves there. Get some of the substrate there.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yep. You can get a lot there that will greatly enhance your tank.
Anything green. Yeah.
Or anything dead and rotting.
Right.
Except not possums. No dead possums.
Well,
dead leaves, plant material.
We found a possum skull that we bleached just in my daughter's room. It's funny. Pretty cool.
Yeah, sure enough. Is standing water better? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
It's okay. I prefer creek water personally, but that's just kind of a personal bias.
And sometimes you find creeks where there's like a nice pooling area, and that's where I like to grab from.
Yeah.
Kind of best of both worlds.
Would a river be cleaner? You'll find, well, it doesn't matter. You don't want clean dirty. I mean, a river is good because it's old and it's got ancient culture in
And
it.
it has all of the streams put together,
It's
but
got
then again, it also
everything.
has a
Yeah.
lot of the industry along it and
You got to,
gas
because it's
boats.
true enough. Yeah. So be somewhat sensitive to the quality of
Yeah,
what
here,
you
like,
got.
because you said that here in Pittsburgh, I mean, we have 3 rivers, tributaries, and coal mines for days.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would really depend on what river versus what stream and literally where. The river could be better versus this stream coming right out of a mine, but not as good as this stream that's just coming through. You really have to know your watershed here, and I'm sure a lot
Pond
of
or,
places.
pond or drainage ditch. I think they're probably comparable. Yeah. They're comparable.
Drainage dishes can, yeah, they can dry out, and they're usually along roads, so they're gonna get the oil and what have you coming off the road.
Well, there is
When if you're
potential.
somewhere where it snows, when they salt the road,
That's
that runs into the streams. We're doing
Yep.
locally, we're doing tests right now to try to understand how much what the salt and stuff that we pour on the roads affects the streams along the roads. So
yeah.
depends on where
Absolutely.
you are again, and that's something to think about.
Right. We don't have that problem in Florida, but
No, but then you have actual salt. But
Yeah,
that
really.
becomes that's part of your natural system.
really. Oh, what else? Okay, we're done.
It's a
Are
little
we
more
done?
reservation tank, so maybe bring that up in the weeks to come.
Yeah,
'Cause
that'll be
it's-
fun. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's spring is
You bet.
springing everywhere.
Good night, all. Nice to be with you. Let's see if I
Yeah.
can find.
Happy weekend.
Let me try to find. Where is it? Right here. There she is. You ready for this? Ta-da.
Nala.
Nala.
You were watching Father Fish. Now please enjoy the video.
Nala. Thank you, Nala. Nala is my 10-year-old granddaughter who made that for all of us. Okay, dokie. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. We'll be back Sunday at 6 with Mary Page. See you then. Thank you
Happy
so
Friday, happy Saturday. See you Sunday.
much. All right. Thank you, Shelby. God bless you. Take care.
Good
Bye,
night,
all.
all.